There we are. Hello, hello, hello. I'm here. You're here. How neat's that? Welcome and good morning, everybody. I'm joined by my co-host, Joker. He is happier than he looks, I hope. He's got his favorite little green crocodile there. That's a good start. How are you guys doing this morning? Well, it's morning for me. It might be afternoon for you. It's probably afternoon, if not evening for you guys, but cracking a cold. Well, it's not really cold. It's 10 a.m. I don't know what I'm saying. Ow. There we go. Much better. I have a delightful little glasses cleaning kit, and now I have a place to store it in a drawer just to my side here. So if my glasses get smudged because I occasionally pick them up badly because I don't have years of glasses wearing experience, I can just fix it real easy. How are you guys doing? Let's see. Ulfgrim with the 2-month resub. Thank you very much. Magaria had a 6-month resub. Hi, Hazel. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday, isn't it? And 99 Cap with a brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Let me see. So I was messing around with sound because, one, I wanted to try to figure out what happened yesterday with the microphone. My conclusion is that either A, aliens, because they know that I'm onto them, or B, some oddness with the Windows update that I installed in an effort to get the Shadowlands ray tracing working. I've heard that can do weird things to your audio drivers and software, and I'm not educated enough to understand why, but unplugging it, plugging it back in, and then a good restart seemed to fix it. So let me know if the white noise thing starts happening again, and I'll restart it again and continue to not know what's going on. But anyways, I also wanted to try and balance sound levels a little bit, because when I was checking that mic issue, I realized that I know that my music's really quiet on stream usually, and that's kind of by design. I would rather it be too quiet than too loud, because if it's too quiet, that's just kind of an odd acapella stream, whereas if it's too loud, that's just awful. So I usually err on the side of being too quiet, but yesterday I was like skipping through trying to find the place where my microphone made noise, and I'm like, man, this is just me talking about Doomsday over nothing. It's oddly depressing. I don't want that to be my stream, so I'm trying to get just like a hint of game sound through here, and the tough thing that drives me nuts about that is that the loading screen music is always like 10 times louder than the in-game music, but I can't adjust their volume separately because it's within the same piece of software and the same slider applies to both of them. So unless I'm manually turning the sound up as soon as I log in, and also sometimes city music's kind of loud, this seems fine. This'll do. D-Daz Wow with the brand new sub, welcome to the Squirrel Squad, and Democrats with the 3-month resub, thank you very much. Morning for me, but technically Monday morning. Australia, New Zealand, oceanic area, something like that. Wait, there's music, right? No, this is just a daily, vaguely uncomfortable spoken word performance. This is available for free online. So today I am pleased to say, I mean a bunch of stuff. I'm always pleased to talk to you guys, but I am pleased to say that there is wicked lurker farming once again available, and I don't have this pet yet. So as I head out there, I'll give you the lowdown, in case you missed it. We've done this before, but there is a battle pet. It is called the Wicked Lurker. I do not have it yet, and I want it. This pet drops from a rare that is part of the Oldham invasion, the Oldham Black Empire invasion, which is currently up. However, not every day of the Oldham Black Empire invasion can be a Wicked Lurker day. You need a very specific event to be active, and some days it's up and some days it's not. When it's up, it's great because it spawns very quickly. It's like a 1-minute respawn after the boss dies, so you don't have to wait around. And you can loot it once per day per character, assuming that the event is up for that day. So I have like 20-ish characters ready to farm this thing on. It's supposed to be a 5% drop rate. And I've already run them all through it on 2 previous days. I'm distinctly unlucky at this point, but I have a good feeling about today. I think today is the day. Feeling great, was lucky yesterday. Got the Antoran Charhound. Congratulations, Ironside. Australia, you got it. Perth specifically. There you go. This is my favorite podcast. Oh man, I enjoy podcasts. I think this is as close as I'll ever get to doing a regular one. I know everybody and their grandmother has a podcast. I think they're profitable right now. I think if you can get podcast sponsors, it's a decent way of making money. That has to be why everybody's doing it. Or maybe just everybody's management company just had it on the slide. You know, on their 2020 plan slide, they just had like one, you know, little PowerPoint window that's like, yo, start a podcast. And I did have one once upon a time. It didn't really work out because I was unable to commit the effort it takes to actually run one. Some podcasts are very laid back and some of them are a little more structured, and it takes a surprising amount of work to put them on. So this format where I just verbally spew until my 2 hours is up works out much better for me because there's very little preparation needed. Leonard45 with the 2-month resub. Thank you very much. Why does the water elemental look like it's a porcupine that was in the bath for too long? He is kind of spiky on top, isn't he? I think that's supposed to be ice because it's a glacial tide storm. We had a bunch of people on them and we were like making a waterfall for a screenshot last night, and it did look kind of goofy. Is an emerald dream in great happy Sunday off. Thank you. That's an odd, it's a bit of a coincidence just because the way you phrase that is a bit of a coincidence because also this is where the event is if you're looking to farm this today. The coordinate 60,72 in Oldham. NA at least has this up today. Clunky little buff here. And all you do is you click the pyre if it's up, you fight off waves, and then the boss spawns and it's got a chance to drop the pet. This is worth doing even if you already have the pet or you don't really want the pet, because you can sell the pets, assuming that you have the patience to do that. Sell rates on pets tend to be a little bit low, but on Lightbringer at least these things are still going for like 40, 50k or so, and on other servers it can be closer to 70 or 80k. And especially if you have a bunch of characters to try on, this does not take very long to try. Like the things, you don't have to like camp it, and the rare itself is not too tough, although if you are on a very freshly leveled character or indeed an under-leveled character, because you can access Oldham rare starting at level 110, you might want help. Jackson, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. And Robot Tails, thank you very much for the tip. Hi Hazel, in the PTR nobody can go to Northrend. Why is that? I was really looking forward to going there. I did not know that, and I don't know why, personally. But I would guess that there's a reason. Usually, earlier in the Shadowlands beta, I remember really wanting to try to test out Legion raids. And very early in the Shadowlands, when it was still alpha, I wanted to test out to see what Borealis was like. And those areas were just inaccessible. The portals wouldn't work, you couldn't get there. And I think that sometimes they just disable access to certain areas if they're working on things going on out there, or just for other development reasons. It may become enabled later, it might not. Tough to say. I don't have any useful info for you, unfortunately. Have you seen the fish swimming around in the mountain? No, I have not. Okay, drum roll. Am I gonna get it? Not that time. That was attempt number 35, so I guess I haven't farmed it as much as I thought I had, but still, that's a good number of attempts. All right. Am I being punked? Am I being tricked? Is there really a fish in here? I've never seen a fish. It's very dark in Oldham, so perhaps... I mean, those are my crows. I mean, I feel like this angle's just rude. Poor guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm blind. Towards the bottom? I saw it. Oh, it's just like a little shadow inside. Yo, this mount just got 100 times better. I'm very predictable, but I like fish. Fish are great. Fish are fun. Neat. That's a very subtle fish. That is a sneaky fish right there. Saudi, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Water Goddess 06 with the brand new sub also. Thank you very much and welcome. Kellis here with the 4-month resub. What kind of tea do you have today? Thank you for reminding me to pour some. I have made a pot of cherry blossom green tea. This is from Harney. It smells nice. I put my face in it too fast and I burnt my lip a teeny tiny little bit. Ooh, that's still hot. It's nice enough. It's not life-changing, but it's got a very pretty tin. And sometimes that makes me enjoy things more. Oh man, so this is my next character. I will circle back and I'm gonna start with the characters that are already out there. Well, the problem is that I want to do dailies on her in Shalazar Basin, and I don't want to stop. All right, we'll come back to Hazeline if we don't get it. There we go. Did you know that you're always clapping just with really long pauses? It's, I do notice that I clap a fair amount when I'm talking because I edit myself and I see it. And I was quite frustrated with my clapping the other day because, I had issues getting the audio synced for the Saturday news that I put up most recently. Usually I sync audio based on what is recorded from the cam link, and that usually works out. And then, that one had been muted by accident. So my backup is that I'll clap at the beginning so that I can sync audio visually, but I had forgotten to clap. So then, as a third result, I'm just like scanning through the video, trying to find a place where I clapped just incidentally to see if I could sync audio to that. And I had put my hands together a ton, but I was like just feeling very gentle that day, and it hadn't made any sound that I could use to sync the audio. I was very frustrated with myself. Marmo, thank you for the 15-month resub. That might be the first 15 I've seen. Really curious to know what your classic experience has been like after all this time. I remember your classic streams were pretty unique. So I started, I guess I did stream Classic a little bit. I never finished leveling in Classic is the thing. I have kind of gone back to and then fallen off from Classic a few times, but I've never made it past level like 25 or so. I don't think I've ever made it to level 30. I usually just have a character and I'll quest and do some early leveling, and I'll usually do some early profession leveling. I'll get very excited about fishing and cooking. More recently, I was leveling a hunter, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get this cat, I'm gonna feed it fish, I gotta go fish some fish for my cat. And that was very exciting. I like it because it's just, the way I play Classic, which I should clarify is not very often and never really on stream anymore, it doesn't have any expectations of ever making it to endgame. I have no real interest in doing raids or even dungeons. I'm never gonna be like Scarlet Monastery farming or getting into AQ. I just kind of like the pace of questing when I don't feel like I'm hurtling towards a destination I'm not ready for. And so I like playing Hunters, Priest, Warlock on Classic, but just kind of leveling and taking it easy. I don't do anything too complicated. Oracle dailies. Yeah, I want to do Oracle dailies today, but I want to get this pet first, if at all possible. So I figure I'm gonna try for the pet on every other character that is not currently living in Shalazar Basin, and then if I get through all of them and I still don't have it, then I'll go grab the human priest and bring her out here. And we also had Sinatars, we also had Sinatars with a 4-month resub, and I would like to thank them very much for that. Thank you for the positive and welcoming streams, great YouTube videos. Twitch is adamant that I remind that I should share my sub anniversary. Really and honestly, thank you. Oh, shucks. Oh, man. Ivory Cloud Serpent video helped me get it yesterday. My 120th Invincible run today. Good luck on Invincible. It'll happen eventually. Normal spawn time on this event, it takes like a minute or so. It doesn't, like, it's pretty constantly up. I've never really had to wait longer than a minute if it's like after the boss dies before the pyre spawns again. Okay. Is my sound low? Do I need to turn myself up? Do I need to turn my game sound up? I know that Oldham's sound, like, I can barely hear the music right now. I guess I can turn it up here. It's just as soon as I log onto the loading screen, it's going to be blasting, and I'm just so scared to have the sound too high, because whenever I, you know, if you log into the loading screen and the sound's kind of pumping and it comes through the stream like that, it hurts people, and I don't want to hurt people. Oh man, did you taste the cake? The cake? What cake? Whose cake? Wait, what cake? Don't mind me. Personal goal in Classic is to get the Winter Saber Trainer's Mount. That's a good one. Hi there, I'm here from YouTube. My friend told me about you. I haven't played in WoW in a very long time. Is a new X-Pack worth coming back for? I would say if you are feeling the WoW itch, then yes. If you quit WoW because you were just kind of done with the format, it's the same game that it's always been. It changes, and there's new systems, and there's new, you know, the classes get changed and whatnot, but the general gameplay loop does not significantly change over the years, so if you just don't like MMOs anymore, you're probably going to get bored. But I think that it's still worth coming back just to check it out and see if you like it. You don't have to, like, commit to it forever. I would come back right around Shadowlands launch, maybe, like, 2 weeks beforehand, so you can get a character set up and prepared to, like, start leveling in Shadowlands launch. But I think it would be fun. You just come back for a month. It's not like you have to stay forever. Sienna, thank you very much for the 4-month resub. I don't know if I thank Katie Druid for their 3-month resub. Thank you very much. Also, Playfair James with their 2-month resub, 2 months, and Perk with the 15-month. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Do you think Blizzard will announce something WoW related during Gamescom, like release date or pre-patch date? Ooh. When is Gamescom? Depends. When is Gamescom? Depending on how long it is. Balance, but you're low. They just haven't been turning you down. You're on max now. Yeah, I know that I tend to be I run a little quiet. I've tried to fix it a lot. Belviona, thank you very much for the 4-month resub. And Alaska Marie with the 3-month resub. Thanks very much. Bethia B with the 15-month resub. This resub day today. Cheers, guys. You guys have kept that train alive, too. Cryptic Lemur had some bits. Thank you very much. If you were to rate Shadowlands so far, 1 to 10, what would you give it? 10s across the board, because I am a real sucker for WoW. I just love it anyways, and I'm incredibly excited for all the new stuff. I don't think there's anything that I'm like, oh, I don't know, this might make me grumpy, because, you know, if I'm gonna be grumpy, I'll be grumpy independently of WoW. I'm so excited for the new raid and the new dungeons and the new leveling and the new collecting and the new professions, and I'm gonna fish and I'm gonna cook and I'm going to farm gold and I am going to buy things, and there's gonna be pets and there's gonna be mounts. And I'm gonna level in my covenant. I'm gonna have, well, actually I don't know if I'm gonna have parties. I still can't decide my covenant thing. Anyways, I did not get the Wicked Lurker that attempt. That was like attempt number 36. 27th of August? Maybe. I say 50-50 odds that they announce expansion date at Gamescom. That's roughly what I would say, because it seems a little soon, but maybe not that soon, especially if the date that they announce is a ways out, right? Pre-patch is rumored for September 9th and Shadowlands for August 10th. Where'd that rumor come from? That's the first I'm hearing of that. I like rumors. Shadowlands looks amazing. I should be very clear that I am easily pleased as in WoW. Issues that people have experienced great anguish over in the past have never really hurt my feelings all that much. That doesn't mean I'm always thrilled about them. I think there's valid criticism to be made about the game, but it never really dims my enjoyment all that much. So, so Shadowlands could very well be a source of new anguish for people that had different expectations than me. You know, everybody enjoys games differently. How am I doing? I'm kind of starting to reaccumulate gold a little bit, but it's so unmotivating to try to make gold when you don't know what you're saving up for. The only 2 pets that I have left that I could buy, aside from the Wicked Lurker, which we're going to farm today, is Poppy, which is going for 350k, which is pretty expensive, but like, if I get 350k and I don't have anything better to spend it on, and I haven't gotten it to drop for myself yet, then maybe. And I just refuse to pay gold for Raw Breath. I have the pet already, just under a different name. I refuse to pay hundreds of thousands of gold for this stinky little worm. I won't do it. So I need to actually farm that when it comes back. What are those Night Elf shoulders? Night Elf shoulders. That must have been from a different character. Let's see. Cloak won't be max level until September the 8th. Rumor is pre-patch always lands 4 weeks after PTR. The expansion 8 weeks after PTR. Oh, I see. I am feeling that the PTR just went up extra early to get people in to be able to test options and to test class changes and to test level squish a little more. Is my guess. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a longer than usual gap between PTR and actual pre-patch launch. I could be wrong. I don't know anything. I never know anything. Well, they've been watching the weather. 2 hurricanes coming this way. Oh, that's kind of scary. Just assume they're going to make a barber mount save for that. I guess so. There's something very satisfying to me about entering an expansion dead broke. Going into BFA, I spent every last penny of gold that I had on that spider mount, even though I already knew there was going to be a Brutosaur mount. I knew that was coming, but it's like, I feel like I'm starting a new game. I mean, I'm not, but, you know, my favorite part of playing Pokemon as a kid was always starting a fresh save file and getting to choose your starter and just like, you know, scraping together your resources when you don't have very many of them. I feel like when you start with gold already saved up, you know, it sucks some of that new game fun out of it for me. Obviously it's a big advantage to have resources to like buy things and stuff, but I feel like the gold making is so good at the beginning of an expansion when like all the resources are really scarce and nobody's had time to, you know, amass gigantic guild banks filled with herbs and meat and stuff, and people need all this stuff to get set up. And it's just so much more satisfying to be like, I sold this fish for 35 gold when you only had 10 gold to begin with. Like, if you already had, like, 80k or 200k or a million gold just, like, sitting on your characters, you know, you could still make gold and enjoy the new expansion, but the percentage of new gold that you're making from each thing is a much smaller proportion of your existing gold cap, or gold volume, and it just makes it less satisfying for me. This is a, not a logical method of thinking, but it's the way my brain works. What's the name of the rainbow and how do I get it? That is the prismatic bauble. Gotcha. Where is the cat? Right there. There's the cat. She is taken to the middle of my floor, and she has fallen asleep there. How is it possible that she is so rich? Who? Me? Gold? I only got 65k. Hey! Wicked Lurker! Wow, that was fast today. That wasn't so bad. I now have, I'm gonna get that leveled up. I now have 1,232 unique pets. And all of them but that new one is level 25. Let's summon him. Nice to scratch that one off the list. I'm really getting to the end of it now. It's so much, I get so much more motivated to farm things when there's only like a couple of things left. Look at that. What do we do with all this time we have now? Is this a philosophical question? Just in WoW. There's all kinds of stuff to do. I am polishing up like reputations in mounts and pets that are available. Or, you know, leveling alts. Or, you know, you can make gold. You can go into it with some savings. All right. I wonder if I should try to farm more of them to sell them. That doesn't sound like me. I do not have the effort. I do not have the energy to sell pets typically. I guess I should change my stream title to something generic. And then, let's just say Sunday morning WoW, because that's what it is for me. Sunday AM WoW. And I'm gonna go ahead to Shalazar and do some daily quests. How about that? Yes, Mail Muncher Teeth. He does kind of look like the Mail Muncher's little baby cousin. Yeah, I could farm it for sale. Selling pets. I don't know. Selling it for 2 different sabers? You got me beat by just under 400. Oh yeah, I was gonna level it up. I think I have, I might have an extra ultimate battle training stone on my hunter. I thought I had one. Let me check real quick. Which was still morning for me. What mounts are you working towards? I am trying to get Midnight's Eternal Reigns from Legion Karazhan, and I am trying to get the Pure Heart Courser from 100 Exalted Reps. So Karazhan is something that we farm on Tuesdays. If I had another grind lined up after that, I would try a little harder. I've never gotten all my characters through it in a given week. I could be farming that faster by using all my characters, but I just do as many as I can within 2. I must have used that stone. I don't have any more. I just do as much as I can within 2 hours. But I don't have a grind in mind for after that, at least not until Shadowlands. Once Shadowlands comes around, it should be much easier for me to farm Legion raids. Can't sell anything on Lightbringer, been trying for months. Does Kira tend to follow you around at home? She's never far away. She's usually following around me and sometimes my husband. The only time that she'll ever be in a room that doesn't have either of us in it is if she just decides she wants to go nap on one of our pillows. She'll go sleep like in our bed in the bedroom if we're not in there. Hi, Shalazar Basin. Hazel, could you share with us your overall opinion on BFA now that we're at the end, including the store mounts, cinematics, and everything around? Store mounts. We had store mounts in BFA, didn't we? Like the philosophy or the ethics of store mounts, or the actual mounts themselves, because I thought the mounts were great. My stance on store mounts is that they're probably not good for the game. It feels kind of gross to have microtransactions in a game that we both pay for expansions and monthly. I don't really agree with that. However, I don't disagree so strongly that I won't buy them, so I'm a big old hypocrite. I have them all. I tend to not ride them though, just because I feel like I treasure my mounts much more when I like worked for them. And the shop mounts, I feel like I just get them because, you know, they're new. I like the trend of what they've been doing a bit more recently of giving mounts for 6-month subs, because I am not about to unsub from WoW. That's never happened. So I like being able to get them just by committing another 6 months of sub. And then the cinematics were great. I am not a huge story person, so their story implications were probably lost on me, but technically they were very good. They were enjoyable to watch. And then the overall expansion, I have had a blast. I've had so much fun in BFA. I really like island expeditions. I know people have varying feelings on the varying features of BFA, but islands are like one of my favorite things. Opinions in the AoE squish. I feel about that the way I feel about green beans that are still in their little stock thing that you get in those frozen vegetables. I'm not like really excited about them, but it's probably good for the health of the game in some way that's not immediately apparent to me. I don't think they would do it just to annoy us. You know, hopefully good for the health is I guess my opinion. I'm not like jazzed about it, but I think it'll probably be fine. Falcon, thank you very much for that $20 tip. That's really generous. Thank you. We love what you do. Thanks for the great videos. Aw, shucks. Is the mount still available for a 6-month sub? I do not know. AoE squish is that in Shadowlands, most AoE abilities are getting a target cap. How many targets will depend on which ability, where they will affect up to X amount of targets, but no more than that. I think that might actually... One potential benefit of the AoE cap is that it might put a little tiny bit of the brakes on, like, incredible density multi-box farming. Like, if you've ever been through the Heart of Darkness in Nazmir, and you've seen just a bunch of boomkins just posted up in that pit with all of the Krogs, just sun-firing, like, hundreds of them, strategies like that, they will still absolutely work, especially with multi-boxing, but they will be a little bit less effective after post-target capping. I just hope it doesn't make it too annoying to run raids, I think, like old raids. If it's going to be really frustrating to run old content, then that sucks. That is something that I do that I would be sad to lose. The Wicked Lurker dropped already. I should have it out. I got pretty lucky. It was, well, pretty lucky for today. It's not that rare of a pet, so if you have a bunch of characters, it's not unreasonable to get it yourself, or to get some to farm. Look at the little guy. Let's see. Daughters will be great for Mythic Plus because of the AoE cap of other classes, perhaps. Let's see. Add-on showing total mount and character mount total. That is Mount Journal Enhanced, yes. I saw another question that I wanted to answer and then I forgot, and I'm looking for it again now. That happens to me sometimes, is I kind of skim chat, and I definitely don't see everything that happens in chat. But sometimes I see it and then I almost say something, but then I get distracted. Okay, there it was. Have you ever had a period of time where you were unsubbed since you discovered the game? Nope, never. I subbed in 2008, 2009, something like that, and I've never unsubbed. The closest I came to unsubbing was a period during MOP, when all I was really doing was logging into a bunch of characters to do the, the Pandaria farm, and that was kind of boring and kind of grindy, and at the time I did not have a guild, I was not raiding, I was not doing PvP, all I was really doing was leveling alts, and just kind of not much. I was just kind of bored with the game. At the time I also got really into Dark Souls. That was my first encounter with playing Souls games, and I got really addicted to playing Dark Souls 2 specifically. So I didn't unsub from WoW, I still logged in most days to do my farm. But that was probably like a month or so of my life where I was just like barely logging in, and I considered taking a break, but I never did. I had to get my what was I planting? The Harmony maybe? Let's see. I don't trust them to properly balance the damage increase from abilities limited to 5 targets to make it worth it. Yeah, we'll have to see. It very well could be tough. How many pets do you have? 1,232. 1,232. Oh, I forgot to level up my new one. He's level 1. I'm just walking around with a level 1 pet. What will people think of me? Also, where'd the sound go? There's such pretty music out here. Hello? I'll just turn it all the way up and then regret that later. I do have it set to loop, don't I? System? Oh, no, I don't. That's why. That's why. Maybe that'll do it. Okay, let me get... I'm doing these dailies, and I did these dailies for a while back in like Wrath when they were current, because I was farming for the green proto drake, and I eventually got that, and I never finished getting the oracles rep. I got them to revered, and then I'm pretty sure I stopped doing dailies because at the time I didn't understand why I might want more rep. I didn't really see a good value towards getting exalted. So I have experience with these, but it's been so many years that it's been over 10 years, so I don't really remember anything about how they work. I remember how to do this one with the shiny treasures, so I'm just going to start with that and then like read some of the other dailies just to figure out what it is that I'm doing. What's your favorite covenant, and how are you, by the way? I'm doing really good, thanks for asking. My favorite covenant is really hard to pick. I am such a fickle Filbert. I was trying to think of like a food word that started with F, and I was just blanking really hard. Also, LeFou! I lost my LeFou! I just keep changing my mind. Seriously, LeFou, where did you go? Come back. Alright, let's put a marker on him this time. I started out, when I first saw them at BlizzCon, I was enamored by the Venthyr. I adore the gothicness, I adore the fashion, I adore the the sort of spooky blood mage vibes. There's no class that I want in WoW more than like a proper, you know, Dragon Age style blood mage. I've always loved that archetype, and I want it in WoW. So being a Venthyr Shadow Priest with like my Vampiric Touch and Devouring Plague seemed like the closest thing I could get to that. So I was very excited about that for a while. And then I started to see more and more collectibles come out from the Night Fae. And just Night Fae themed things. And at first I kind of wrote off Night Fae as being, well, that's very pretty, but it's almost a little too pretty. It's almost a little too stereotypically cute fairies. But then I found that there's like a toothier side to it. And that was kind of the vibe that I always wanted from Night Elves, is I wanted them to be, you know, pretty and fantasy elves. But I also wanted them, they're night elves, they live in the forest. I wanted them to be a little bit feral. And they were just excessively civilized. I wanted them to be a little less friendly, you know, a little toothier, you know. And that's kind of the vibe that I started getting from the Night Phase. There's adorable stuff out there, and you know, it's all very cute and pretty, but also, you know, there's some adorable toothy stuff out there. So then I started thinking about that. And now I've really, you know, after playing through Bastion a few times and getting to play with the Kyrian Covenant abilities and spending more time with the little owls and the stewards, now I don't know. It's very hard. The only Covenant out of the 4 that I haven't seriously considered at this point is Necrolords. And honestly, if Necrolords turned out to be my best in slot class or Covenant for combat abilities for some reason, I would probably be fine with that just because my hair matches. I have the Necrolordiest hair right now. So, I don't know. A fickle frappuccino. It's a good race for a shaman, a horse, or an alliance. All the horses are alliance. I know it's a typo, it's just funny. I don't know if we're talking combat-wise. I can tell you what I like aesthetically. My favorite alliance shamans are Koltirans. My shaman is a Koltiran. For a while it was dwarves. I do like dwarven shamans, but Koltiran shamans are just so fun. You can get a very Tide Sagey vibe doing that, and the totems look really, really good. And then Horde, hard to go wrong with like a good troll shaman, and with them I like to take their transmog more of like a witch doctor direction. Yeah, wife is very much with you in the Venthyr vibe. The thing that talked me out of Venthyr a little tiny bit after playing it a bit on beta is just that their class, or their Covenant Hall, which I will mistakenly call a class hall for the entire expansion, their Covenant Hall is like a crypt, right? It's an underground sort of big stone tomb situation, which, you know, this is all very Dracula, so that makes sense and it fits, but it's kind of dark and it's kind of cobwebby, it's kind of dusty down there, and, you know, part of me wants to live somewhere bright and clean, which could be Night Fae, and that could be Kyrian as well. So, I don't know. I don't think it's possible to experience seasonal affective disorder based on the places that you spend time in WoW. I think that's a little far, but, you know, I like light places. I still hope you're well. My shaman is just trying to be Draenei. Definitely going Night Fae with my Night Elf Druid and Venthyr with Warlock. The nice thing about getting so conflicted about which Covenant I want is that if I reach a point where I want all of them, and I think that, and I can see the cosmetic appeal in all of them, and I can see myself as any of them, then I am totally free to make my choice based on combat proficiencies without worrying about the cosmetics, because they're all good anyways, right? So right now I'm like, if I was reading the theory crafting and they told me I needed to be any one of the Kyrian Night Fae or Venthyr on my priest or on my druid, I would be all aboard. If it turns out to be Necrolord, I'm gonna need to adjust a little bit, but I'm sure I'll be fine. Torn about whether I should main Warlock or play Paladin, but I'm so nervous about switching to melee. It's that time of year. It is that time of the expansion where we look to our futures and go, wait, what should I be? Do I want to be this? Do I want to be this? My entire guild is going through like a collective spec identity crisis right now. So I feel you. I don't have any meaningful advice for you, but I feel you. It's quite funny listening to people chatting with each other, trying to figure out what everybody else wants to play, because, you know, some people, they don't want to compete with other certain people in the same spec, or we want to make sure we have a good range of melee, or a good balance of melee and ranged, or they want to make sure that we have a good balance of different classes. So everybody's trying to like figure out what everybody else wants to do to make their decision, but when everybody's doing that, it's impossible to figure out. It's very funny. What covenant is best for Shadow Priest? Not a clue. No idea. I will never be a great source of theory-crafted information unless we've already collectively known about it for like 3 months, at which point I usually get caught up. If we want all 4 covenant mounts, do I need to get 4 characters with different covenants? Yeah, but I don't anticipate, and I don't know for sure, I would be surprised if you will be able, actually no. Let me be very clear. I don't think that you can ride a covenant mount if you're not that covenant. Like, if you get the covenant mount on your main, and it's a Venthyr mount, and your second character joins the Kyrian, I don't think you get to ride that Venthyr mount if you're not Venthyr. All this anxiety over the future feels like graduation. Worried about the Night Fae ability being required to get into groups for Paladin? Possible. I'm not really familiar with how much vetting goes into creating groups for things like that, but I am guessing that it's not going to be a ton of interviewing. If anything, people might want you to be in a certain covenant, not because they know what your class meta is like and they're very invested in you being optimal, but because they want a certain covenant buff for their dungeon and nobody has that one yet. So you may find yourself more in demand for certain dungeons that match your covenant that give the extra buffs, because those look like they will be active in Mythic Plus, as opposed to just trying to get matched based on proficiency. Are any covenants better for certain professions? It doesn't appear so yet. Let's see. Thanks, Ragnar. And thank you very much for the gift sub. Also, a couple of subs. We had, let's see, the Plump Panda a couple minutes ago. Thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Sorry I missed that one. Sarlabos with the brand new sub more recently. Thank you very much. Cheers. Margaret the Bars with the bits. Thanks very much. And Ragnar had that gift sub. So what am I doing for this daily? They want me to go kill 50 Frenzy Heart. That sounds easy enough. I feel like I can just land there and Mind Seer and it'll be fine. The Dark Paladin vibe with Venthyr is really cool. Can you play a Dark Iron Dwarf Paladin? Is that a thing? It doesn't sound like a thing. If it was a thing, that would be really cool. A Dark Iron Dwarf Venthyr Paladin. Moon Talon with the 14-month reset. 14 whole months. Time do be flying, though. Seriously. At least, you know, at least we have every new month is a new month that we got to have. It is a thing. They get a rad mount, too. Oh. Now that sounds cool. I don't need another character. I only have one Paladin. Paladin is one of those classes that's always been a little lower in my tier list. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but just if I'm thinking my personal class preferences, them being melee and then also kind of magic but wearing plate as well just kind of puts them in my, I don't know, list. So I only have the one, and it's a Lightforged Draenei Prot Paladin. So if I was going to level a character to be a Holy Paladin or a Ret Paladin, I would probably level a new character because, you know, I just like leveling alts, so I don't see why I wouldn't have a new one for each spec. So, ooh, Dark Iron Dwarf, Venthyr, Ret Paladin. How dope is that? Can I brag for a bit? Got the Blazing Drake after 7 attempts. Congratulations. You saw the Handmaiden drop twice? That is some crazy luck. Jamie Lee, thank you for the 15-month reset. Happy 15th. If you were to take an inspiration from an area of WoW to decorate an aquarium, what area would you choose? Mine would be Zangarmarsh with the tall mushrooms. Ooh, that's cool. Area of WoW for an aquarium. I mean, the obvious ones are the underwater zones, so your Najatar and your Vashir. That one escaped me for a second. But I like your idea. What about, ooh, I know. 1,000 Needles. 1,000 Needles, right? Because it's flooded. It's got those really tall, like, Mesa Bluff things. You could do that in Dragonstone. That would be so cool. You get like some reddish aquarium stone. You do the really tall bluffs. You can like, maybe not do too much on top of them because it's not like they have a ton of plants on them. Maybe just like a couple of tiny plants, like some Anubias nata attached to the top of the bluffs. And then you've got water underneath. It's like the flooded 1,000 Needles, especially if the rocks went just a little bit over the water surface. Oh, that would be good. I kind of want to do that now. About to point to just use a random wheel to decide what to play. That is a valid strategy. I have always held that your favorite class to play, most of the time, is going to be the one that you've spent the most time with. So if you just kind of like, you know, arrange yourself a union with a class by just arbitrarily picking one and then making yourself stick with it, even when you get the wandering eyes, you will eventually cultivate this attachment to that spec that is independent from how it's currently balanced and functioning, that will carry you through many expansions. Sometimes you just gotta pick one, regardless of which one it is. Like, obviously, don't pick a tank if you hate tanking, but, you know, just pick a thing and play it and have that be your thing and don't worry about it so much. Sometimes. That's why I have 6 warriors on one server. I'm trying so hard not to look into fish as pets, but your love for them is making them so hard. I do really enjoy my fish. Some downsides from keeping fish. They make it a little bit difficult to travel. Not as bad as like a dog, I feel like, is more work to get looked after than the fish, because, you know, fish can go a little time without maintenance and whatever. But like, if you travel a lot, it might not be a great call, especially because it's nice to be around, so if you notice anything wrong, you can do something about it. Fish are also a bit expensive and a bit complicated to get started with. Once you're rolling, it's not so bad, but getting your aquarium initially set up, especially if it's a planted tank, can cost quite a bit of money, and you can have a lot of issues that make you worried about your investment. Early on, it can be really frustrating to have spent all this money and you've got these fish and you're really excited about them and you just want it to work, and it just won't work because fresh tanks are just, you know, they're a little volatile until they get really settled in season. Sometimes things go wrong, and getting through the nitrogen cycle, especially early on, can be very frustrating for beginners. So they're a little front loaded with stress. But if you know, you're pretty settled down. Also, they're a nightmare to move with. So if you're not like committed to the place that you're currently living in for a while and you're going to be moving around, the problem with fish tanks is you get one and then you get another one and then you get another one. They call it MTS. It's multi-tank syndrome. You just can't stop. Also, what am I doing? I am playing a song. Am I singing to these elementals? That's cute. Oh no, I'm singing to the dirt. That's also cute. That's fine. Oh, I can do that. Yeah, moving with aquariums is a nightmare, and I'm not looking forward to it. And it's very hard to restrain myself from getting more of them. But like, if you've got some roots down and you don't travel all that much, and you've got like some disposable income, you're ready to put, you know, $100, $200 into a new hobby, a new experiment, and you're prepared to like wait on getting the fish for it until you're confident that everything's stable and working out, then it can be so interesting and so fun. Oh, man. Don't play Druid a whole bunch, but whenever I do, I love playing Guardian. Bear Druid is delightful. Bear Druid is really fun. It's probably my favorite tank spec. The moving part's why I'm trying not to get fish. At least I don't have any large aquariums. The largest aquarium I have is a 20-gallon long, and I've been notably not restocking it. So the stock of it is a bit light right now. It's still got plenty of activity in there, but I haven't been like topping up the size of the schools. My White Cloud Mountain minnows have been slowly, I've been losing one every couple of months. They're just a bit older now, and I feel like they would have lived longer had they been kept at cooler temperatures. I don't know if I would do them again. But I haven't been replacing fish really, because I just want, if I'm gonna move, doing so with a lower number of fish to reduce potential casualties. Man, if I get my feet into a house though, and I'm convinced I'm gonna live there for like 5-10 years, oh boy. Oh boy, it's gonna be trouble. Someday my house is gonna be flooded. Be like me, convince your boss at work to have a fish tank at the office. Oh. And then you can tell people about your fish. They can come by your desk to like chat, and you can be like, yo, have you seen Lancelot? Or, you know, whatever fish you have. Oh man. I mean, I convinced my boss to let me have aquariums in my office. It's just that my boss is, you know, she's a very mean lady, and she doesn't respect me very much, but she does have a real thing for fish. Hazel, do you like priest changes in Shadowlands? I do. Will you be doing any more beta videos? I hope so. I want to. I have not proven to be terribly prolific recently, but I would like to. On my list, a closer look at ray tracing shadows. I want to do one more customization video looking at the new categories of customization, so like the body chains and the tattoos and the headdresses and stuff like that. And then after that, assuming that I can get through it, a video about what it's like leveling 1 to 50 post-level squish. And then I need to get doing dungeon guides if I'm going to have them done before the expansion comes out. Sorry, Hazel, I came here for the cat. I'm satisfied. Most important things to save your filter media. Yeah. Yeah, my plan, I think, for moving is to, depending on how many fish I have at the time, either pack the fish into breather bags or move them in buckets that have running sponge filters in them. It's just the trick is to not smash them around too much. And then have the filter media also kept in water with a sponge filter to keep it oxygenated, and then do it kind of all in one go. Ideally, if I have access to my new house and I'm moving over the course of like a week, right? Like if it doesn't have to be right away, I would probably get a new tank, because I've been kind of wanting to do that anyways. I would probably get myself like a 55-gallon tank, set that up brand new in the new place, and then all I have to do is move my fish and my filters, and then I can just kind of start the new one that way without worrying so much about having to preserve like the growth of the plants. Like in my living room tank, which is the one that I'm most worried about preserving, I have a lot of plants in there, but they're all attached to the wood, so I could just yoink the wood out of there. And sure, there's some roots that are going in the sand that'll be a little mad at me, but for the most part, I can just kind of grab everything out of there, and then plop it into a new tank. It's not like it's all super dirt-based, because the dirt-based tanks I would want to probably drain almost empty, to maintain like a wet layer of soil, and then maybe like spritz them to keep them damp, because you don't want them to dry out. But you really don't want to move tanks that have stuff in them, because you can break them. So it's tricky. I don't know how people move aquascapes for competitions. People have aquascaping competitions where they, over the course of like a whole year, 2 years, they grow a beautiful planted tank, and then they move it intact and make it look pretty again at a secondary location. And I don't know what kind of witchcraft they're on, but I am deeply jealous. All right, so there's my Oracles rep of the day. I'm 7404 of 12k. Oh, you know what I wanted to check out is see if there's any, see what the Broken Owl's emissaries are. Hey, you know what's another pet we can farm today? Let me come up with a plan here. Mira, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. And Caitlin Michelle with the 15-month resub. Thanks, Caitlin. Happy Sunday, Hazel in chat. We also had Naptaker with a 15-month. Just a couple minutes ago. Thank you. Favorite Shaman spec is Resto because of their animations. Favorite Shaman DPS spec is Enhance. This is a Cherry Blossom green tea. I stock. Oh, your office tank has blind cave tetras? Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. Those are so freaky looking. I love checking in with those at the store because they're just so fascinating, but I don't think I want them in my house because they're really spooky looking. It's like Ghost of Davy Jones' Locker, but fish. It's great. The add-on with my map open, I am using World Quest List. World Quest List to show all the world quests. We could go right ahead and get the cat ad pet. We can try. All we can do is try. So essentially what I'm thinking, I was going to go do some more dungeon runs for Keepers of Time rep, but that can wait. There is a Kirin Tor emissary. This chest that you get for completing 3 Kirin Tor world quests has a stupidly low chance to drop the Wondrous Wisdom Ball. Now, I can do that emissary on every character that I have that's level 110 plus, and I have a bunch of them, for a chance at this thing. I feel like I'm 40-something attempts in. I haven't gotten it yet, but you know, we can always try again. So what I need to do is figure out what my route is. Like, which 3 world quests am I going to do? Luckily, they all have world quests unlocked, enabled, because I did that last time. So one thing I like about World Quest List is I can sort by faction. So here I can see where all of the Kirin Tor emissary quests are. So I can see what they are and where they are. Now, I need to remember which ones I like doing. Magic of Flight and Like the Wind are pretty easy. And there's 2 of them really close together in Val'Sharah. And important to note that when you port to the Broken Isles, you can use your $1 Hearthstone or you can port to Asuna. I like porting to Asuna so that after I'm done those 3 quests, I can use the $1 Hearthstone just to get back and turn them in, because I want to do this as quickly as possible on each alt because I have like 20 of them to do. So in Asuna, there is no Kirin Tor emissaries. So I could port to Asuna, fly north to Val'Sharah. They have 3 here, and they're all pretty close together. I don't remember how long Barrels of Fun takes. I remember there was an add-on helper. I'm going to try that. So let me start. Well, yeah, here. We're going to port. I'm going to go test this out. I'm going to go see how fast I can do this. Anonymous Cheer, thank you very much for the bits. And Lunalu with the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. That is Khadgar's head, yes. It is floating in an orb. It can emote, apparently. It's one of the few pets I don't have, and that means I need it, even though it's stupid and it won't drop for me. Oh gosh, Borealis, I know, you're kind of loud, Calm down, I'm sorry, I'm leaving. This is the problem with sound balance, is whenever it's loud enough for me to hear it in quiet places, then you come back to Borales and it's just like, you're going on an adventure. I'm like, I don't want to go. I'm not ready. It's Sunday morning. I need coffee still. Yeah, I bet your World Quest list has Barrel Helper. I remember, gosh, Legion feels like so long ago, doesn't it? For me, anyways. I guess because we're almost into Shadowlands, so it was a few expansions ago. It feels like it was both yesterday and eons ago. Can you get the Wondrous Wisdom Ball from a quest as well? I don't think so. I know, so it comes from a quest, but the item that starts the quest comes from the cache, is where that confusion might be coming from. That item, I guess maybe it could also come from the Paragon cache, but the general accepted source of it is the Emissary cache. I got my Wisdom Ball a couple of weeks ago. I didn't even know it existed. Is the Shadow revamp living up to the hype? I think so. I mean, depends on how much hype. I am unfamiliar with your own personal quantities of hype. While we're flying, anyone down for some plant talk with Hazel? I went to the garden store yesterday. I wore my mask. I avoided people to the best of my ability. I was there to buy dirt. I needed potting soil to pot up some of my plants. And I was going to bring Mr. Nutty in to help me carry dirt so I could buy a really big bag of it, but then he had to wait outside with the dog because they weren't allowing pets inside at this time. So I had to carry it myself, which meant I bought less dirt, but that's okay. Darth Rich, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. So I go in to get some dirt, and I'm like, it's very hard for me to walk out of a garden store without a new plant. And I had been considering getting another snake plant, because my snake plant, and I have it here to show it to you. I figured I would tell this story. It's not really much of a story. I figured I would talk about it today, so I brought it over just for reference. Here, let's do barrels first. Let's do, at least these three are nice and tight together. Barrels, flight, and like the wind. Assuming that I can cheese the wind with my flying mount, which usually you can. This should be pretty fast, at least. Anyone found Jennifer yet? I don't think so. Is that showed of your actual cat or just a cat? That's my cat. That's my cat merch. Which I should note, currently available, but not forever. I'm going to be taking that down in the fall as soon as I have a timeline for when my new merch will be available. I'm going to cycle this stuff out. This shirt in particular, I do recommend. I like these ones. They're nice and comfy. Okay, so let's do some barrels of fun. Anyways, my snake plant is one of the houseplants that I've had for the longest. It was one of the first houseplants I got. And at first for a while, it grew really, really well. I had it in like a west window. It got tons of sun. It grew like crazy. But then it was kind of, barrel helper loaded. Okay. Oh, that's right. I remember this. So I think I have to do the first round myself. It was definitely this one. Okay, and now I can mark them. I gotcha. All right, cool. Cheating, everybody. Not cheating. Add-on supported helping. So that's going to be the X. All right. So because this plant was in a window, there was a winter or a summer, I don't remember, maybe a whole year, where I kind of forgot that I had it. I just sort of forgot about it. I didn't water it for like almost a year. And it's hard to kill these things for neglect. They tend to like neglect. But I neglected it a little too much. It got kind of crispy. It got kind of brown. It did flower, actually. I did get my Sansevieria to flower just by forgetting about it. So that was kind of neat. They were very sticky. They smelled kind of nice. They smelled kind of like honeydew. But even after I rediscovered it and I started watering it again, it never quite looked the same because the leaves that had dried out were still there. They were still like tough, leathery old stalks coming out of the thing, but they were never going to rehydrate. And they were, you can't, like if I had trimmed them at the bottom, they still would have just been little stubby stumps. So I figured what I would do is I would take the whole plant out of its pot, unravel it, get a look at the roots, and then basically just chop the rhizome into bits. And any bit that had a healthy leaf on it, I would keep. And then any bit that was attached to a dead leaf, I would just chuck. And then plant the living bits back in the pot, which was in theory a great idea. And that's how I ended up with the plant looking like this. So I have 4 leaves, and they're fine. And when I had the plant before, when I first got it, I was so impressed with how fast it grew. And it was just putting on a new leaf like every week, and I was so proud of it. And then after I repotted it like this, I was just kind of thinking, well, when is it going to start growing again? Because, you know, it was going so fast the first time. What if I just killed it? Because it basically has stayed like this for almost a year. I chopped it up probably about a year ago, and it hasn't really changed since, despite the fact that I water it. I don't I don't let it get too dry, but I also try not to let it get too wet. Also, I might have to think about how to do this. So they want me to reach the goal. I just need to remember where it is. Some of them you can cheese and some of them you can't. You can't. And usually as long as you fly roughly along the route that they want you to go to, it's okay. But... Alright, and then there's the checkpoint. And then we go right. And then we go up. I don't remember where we're going. You go under here. And then they want you to go up. I don't want to do it normally because I'm lazy. Up. And at that point, do I go back over the bridge? That seems weird. I just don't remember where the end is. That's not the goal. That's a different goal. Maybe it is the goal. Maybe I'll have to do it once normally just to remind myself of where on earth it is I'm going. Because you're not supposed to hit these walls. That's the goal. We need to get through here. There it is. Alright, I remember now. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Where was I? Yeah, so it didn't grow for ages. And then that was where I was at yesterday when I went to the store to get some more soil. And I was thinking, maybe I'll just pick up a new snake plant. Maybe this one, I've just killed it and I just didn't know yet. And maybe I should just get a new one. I also figured it was like, you want these things to be in pretty well-draining soil. They don't like to have soggy feet. But it was in such well-draining soil that I feel like whenever I watered it, it was just immediately dry again. I didn't really have a chance to get any of the water. So I figured maybe the new one, I'll keep it in like a slightly peatier mix and see how that goes. It was also, this was the one that was in a really heavy ceramic pot before. I've moved it into this plastic one now. So it was hard to kind of judge the wetness by the weight because the pot was so heavy. So yesterday I picked up a new snake plant. I picked up a non-Laurenti variety, so it doesn't have the yellow stripes on the end of it. And I brought it home, and then when I went to go pot it, I figured, well, I'll take this thing out of the pot. I was going to kind of give up on it, but I figured I'll take it out of the pot and see what it's been doing. So I took it out of the pot, and now I feel awful because it has been working so hard on making new roots, and that's what it's been doing. It's not, like, slacking. It's not giving up on me, so I can't give up on it. So I moved it into this pot. I'm trying a new soil blend that I hope will work better, and it's also a much lighter pot so I can tell when it's dry. I haven't watered it again yet. Whenever I repot succulents, I like to give them a day or two to form calluses over any micro tears in their roots before I water it, just to kind of prevent initial root rot. But it's just been working so hard. It still seems like it might be a while before it puts on any new leaves, but it would be rude of me to give up on it. So I'm going to move it to a slightly less sunny window because it is also kind of bleached. You can see how it looks kind of like yellowed out here. It's not overwatered, and I just got kind of, I think, too much sun, especially when it didn't really need it. I thought it needed the sun so that it could grow, but it was like just working on roots anyways. So I'm going to move it to a different window and give it some more time because it's not like it looks that bad. Usually I get antsy about giving up on plants if they just look awful and I don't think they're going to get any better, but it looks fine. I'm sorry, buddy. I almost gave up on you. I'm going to go put it back. I can show you my new one though. It'll recover eventually. It just needs, it might need like another year or two to finish. I think it probably takes a lot of energy for the plant to create a new rhizome that can make new separate leaves. I mixed in a tiny little bit of fertilizer as well because I figured it had been in its old dirt for like 5 years at that point. So maybe it had just exhausted all the nutrients and it didn't really have the nutrients that it needed to make more life. So with a bit of fresh dirt and a new pot in a different window, hopefully it gets its life together. This is my other new one here. I'll do this last world quest before I show you that. I gotta actually... Alright, so item found. So he's like, yo, get me a thing. And I'm like, sure. You got it, bud. And you just gotta wait for the orb. Unfortunately, you can't loot it until it wants to levitate you, but this one's like really close by. So, here, I'll hearth back and turn this in. So I wanted to just get the most plain Jane basic variant. So this is just a regular green normal snake plant. I guess I have a lot of other snake plants as well. I have a cylindrical one. I have some of the shorter varieties. But I just wanted like a nice normal one because they're just like, when they're happy, they grow really fast and they get very satisfyingly big. So I'm real excited about that one too. And then, how do you like Pothos? I like them pretty well. I have a silver tipped variant that's doing pretty good. And then I use Pothos in my aquariums. I dangle it out of the top, so I grow it immersed out of the back of my aquariums to help clean the water, and also just kind of looks nice over the tank. I'm planning to grow weeds someday. I wish you the best. I recently got a 6-year-old snake plant that's about 7 feet tall. It's super full. I think lately I've been in a bit of a kick of giving my plants bigger pots when they want them to try to let them grow as big as they want to. Because, you know, I just want them to reach their full potential. I used like one of the entire bags of dirt that I bought just to pot up that Monstera into its new pot. It's so big now. Alright, Kieran Tor chest. Oh yeah, I've got to pick a rep. The rep doesn't matter. Kieran Tor chest. Wondrous Wisdom Ball. Darn. That was attempt number 40 for me on Strange Humming Crystal. We can do that a bunch more times today. I've got a whole other hour. Actually, we can do it today. Oh no, I don't stream tomorrow. I was gonna say we can do it tomorrow too, but I don't stream tomorrow. But yeah, the cashier at the garden store, she said that she liked my hair, and I said, oh, thank you. And she said, that's the same color hair that my Stardew Valley character has. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, are we best friends now? Is that all it takes for me? I was very excited. Liquid fertilize them once a month with their weekly watering. They're doing great. I think I'm a little light on my houseplant watering. I don't do a ton of it, and that maybe next time I get one that's stalled out that I don't think needs any more space, maybe I'll just try. How do you like? You said liquid fertilizers. You like the liquid ferts? Maybe I'll try that. Will you be off stream on Tuesday with your new tattoo day? Tuesday, I will be. Tuesday, I am going to stream. My tattoo appointment is in the afternoon, and Tuesday streams are typically in the morning, so I am going to stream like normal, but a little early, I think, because the time that I have to leave for my tattoo appointment is basically right when I end the stream, and I should eat lunch. I don't want to skip a meal and then go get tattooed. That's just dumb. So I am probably gonna start half an hour early and then end half an hour early so I can eat something real quick, and then leave with enough time to get there. But yeah, I don't have to skip a stream this time. All right, I shall be right back. Put this back. Kitty cat, you want to come say hi? Kitty cat, hello. Hi. I got a cat. One thing that I thought I was good. I thought I was okay. I thought I was fine. I thought I had enough plants. Up until yesterday, I felt like I had reached a good houseplant equilibrium where I have one of everything that I like, and I have a few of things that I like extra, and that everything's doing fine, and I have, you know, windowsills are mostly at capacity, but they're not overcrowded. And everything was good. Okay. Kitty cat. She blends in so much. Look at the kitty cat. I'm gonna scooch in a little bit. You good? You fit there? Okay. Music's a little loud now, for me anyways. What am I saying? I thought I had enough plants. And then I went to the garden store. And now I have plant brain again. They're in here. I saw plants that I don't have, and then I was like, oh, but what if? Do tattoos hurt? I definitely agree with Lennart that it depends. I would say that yes, any tattoo is going to hurt at least a little bit. How much it hurts depends on you. It depends on the placement of the tattoo. It depends on the artist. It can also depend on like your body's hormonal cycles. I know for at least women, you are more sensitive to pain during certain parts of your cycle. I feel like men might have a similar thing. I'm not fully educated on that, but there's a lot of factors that can go into how much a tattoo hurts. The nice thing about it, though, is that it's pain that you're choosing to undergo for something that you want, which I feel like takes all the distress out of it. It was definitely unpleasant, but I don't think it was any more unpleasant than the things that happened to me at the dentist. and I am just so excited about getting new art that I'm not overly worried about it. If player housing was put in WoW, we could get a house in any zone you wanted. Where do you live? Sarmar without demons or Silvermoon? Borealis. I want a nice house in the upscale district of Borealis. I will settle for nothing less. It would be great. Hurts more after 7 hours of sitting. That's another good point, is that your body will generate or give or emit, or your body has chemicals that help mitigate your pain response when you're under repeated trauma, like when you're getting tattooed. But you eventually reach a point where it's kind of like out, or at least you're not able to have the same level of adrenaline or whatever it may be that makes the process a bit more tolerable. This was the second tattoo I got, this arm tattoo here, and that one was one sitting that was almost 8 hours, and that was too long. After hour 5 or 6, I was having a bad time, and I should have gotten that done in 2 sittings. This tattoo I'm getting done in multiple sittings that are only 3-4 hours each. The first one was, I think, even a little under 3 hours, and that was not too bad. It was definitely unpleasant at the time, but it's, you know, it's a tattoo. It's worth it. For me, anyways. So we're going for skull next. And then skull again. I forgot to mark a few of them. Can you compare it to something? Not really. I would say less painful than a bee sting, but sustained, which bee stings are not. It really depends. Little pinches, it's not an intense pain like it's in a weird place. I had that when I got my back shoulder blade done. That barely hurt. That was almost soothing. It did feel a little just like getting a really deep back scratch, which I guess technically it was. But then my arms have both been a little bit more sensitive. Fallen asleep several times while getting a tattoo. I had a weird dream that I did that. I dreamed that I went to get my tattoo done, and I was so tired that I slept through the entire appointment, to the point that I didn't see the art before it got done or after. In my dream, I woke up in the car on the way home, and I was like, wait, I haven't seen it yet. How could I have slept through an entire appointment? My wife compares it to leaning on a fresh sunburn. Yeah, I think it just depends on a lot of factors. But at the end of the day, if you really want it, even if it is awful, even if it is the worst pain that you felt in your life, it's for a very limited amount of time, and you will get to enjoy the tattoo for the rest of your days, assuming you take good care of it. It's such a tiny portion of your life that you were spent getting tattooed compared to being tattooed and having it later, that it just makes sense. It just seems like a good pain investment. What am I doing? I'm in the wrong spot. That's right. I don't need to be here. Let's see. I like your shirt. Why, thank you. I sell these ones. I tattooed a glass of beer on my arm. Is that dumb? If that's what you wanted and you like it, then no. Tattoos are very personal. Tattoos are, you know, between you and you, right? Like, you can, if you like it and you want it, that can be enough reason. Do you say a spine tattoo would hurt? No idea. Never had one. Can the process become addictive as well? I think anything can become addictive. Tattooing has the excitement of getting a new thing, and it has some physical sensation markers that go along with it, which I think can lead to, I don't know if it's just addiction the same way that getting new aquariums is an addiction. I think you're just addicted to the excitement of this new project that you're, you know, really looking forward to. But perhaps, you know, like I said, my understanding is you can get addicted to basically anything. Do you struggle to make small talk when you're sat with your tattooist? My tattooist must think I'm so boring. So the first tattoo I got, it was just a walk-in, and I don't remember my artist's name. I don't think I chatted too much. I think we talked about what I wanted, and then I just kind of like sat still the whole time and didn't say anything. So I don't think I made small talk the first time. And then after that, my second tattoo, I was kind of awkward and uncomfortable, and I didn't really make great small talk with them. I didn't feel like we were ever gonna like super get along, but I really liked their art. So I had that one done, and I just listened to music the whole time. I just put in my earphones at the beginning and then just listened to music the whole time. And then this most recent one, which is, I've only had one session with this new artist, but I like them quite a lot. I have more that I can talk about with them because my new artist is a gamer. They also have a lot of animals. I have a fair amount in common that I can talk with them about. And I've also gotten a little bit better at talking to strangers in my more recent years, so it seems fine. But, you know, it's a lot of hours. I don't think I don't think that every artist is going to feel a need to chat with you for that much. I feel like perhaps they're just chatting with you for you. If you can entertain yourself, that might be totally fine. I don't know if anybody expects you to keep like a running conversation for 6 hours of getting tattooed. All right, and we can go turn this one in. That wasn't too bad. Should I buy the deluxe edition now or wait for pre-patch? Up to you. I don't think there's any harm in waiting. I did my daughter's birthdays, one on each shoulder. Unfortunately, the font that I chose looks a bit like a prison inmate number, so it makes for some awesome and carefully phrased questions. I mean, maybe people take you seriously. My mom is a tattoo artist. She told me she prefers people who sit still and don't say anything so she can just concentrate on the art. That would make sense. That would make sense. Especially right now, getting tattooed during COVID means that I am wearing a mask and my artist is wearing a mask, and that we're both trying to not, you know, spray particles towards each other, generally speaking anyways, so less chatter might be better. Alright, so that was attempt number 41. I didn't get it, but you know, we got more characters. We can keep going. My current main is that character that I was just on there, my gnome shadow priest. I was doing, I was helping some people with I was participating in quick ahead of the curve kill on Haruk Nazoth last night, and I was playing Shadow for a change. I've been healing a lot lately, but I was playing Shadow for a change. And I was like, I'm gonna take my correct essences and like actually, you know, pop a flask, maybe not potions, but I'll pop a flask and a rune and I'll actually try. Just for one day, just to like prove to myself, I'm not switching to healing because I can't cut it as a DPS. It's because I want to heal. I'm trying to like prove to myself that I'm not just a terrible Shadow Priest. And I did fine. I'm actually quite happy with how I did. I didn't top meters, but I was up there enough. I also hadn't really had a chance to play Shadow since I got all of my corruptions. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I need to get to Stormwind. If I use the dollar on Hearthstone, then I can't use it to go turn in the thing. I don't think she has a tier 3 garrison, and this takes me to Darkshire. I guess I can go Darkshire and then fly to Stormwind. That'll be fine. I want to see your mask? Oh, they're in another room. They're black, and then I have some charcoal gray ones. They're just regular cotton ones, but they go quite high up, which is nice, so they fully cover the nose and then go all the way back around with just regular ear loops. One of mine is kind of bleach stained now because I was wearing it when I went to go do my hair. Maybe on Tuesday when I'm going, I'll see if I can take a picture, because I feel like I could post a photo in a mask. You know, make sure people know that I am wearing them if I'm going out. How do you keep up with current content while completing your collections? I usually tend to get lost and then feel as though I'm behind in current content. I kind of go through phases. I will do current content when it's new until I feel sufficiently caught up with it, and then I'll swap to farming old stuff. The reason I'm spending so much time on collecting stuff now is because I feel as though I am progressed as I'm ever going to be in current content. I am not going to push any more arena rating. I am not going to do any mythic bosses. I'm basically in collecting mode because it's the end of the expansion and I've already achieved my current content goals. When Shadowlands comes out, I'm probably not going to be doing much collecting at all except for my traditional Tuesday Mat Run streams. I'm probably going to be doing just new content until I feel like I'm caught up. Hazel, you are a heals main now though, right? That's what I'm thinking. I feel like that might be just who I am. What if I'm just a healer on the inside? What if that's true? Tips for Mecha Done. Learn to love yourself. You'll be spending a lot of time with yourself. It takes a while. Mecha Done will teach patience that you won't get from anywhere else. Do you find your tattoo artist using Instagram? I got lucky. My tattoo artist, I got a recommendation from my hairstylist. Britt, who does my hair, also has a lot of tattoos, and she gets them done at Harry, who does my tattoos now. I basically just got her tattoo artist from her. Because I saw her tattoos, I liked them, and then I checked out his Instagram, and he does the kind of work that I wanted. I want tattoos that are plants and tattoos that are animals, that are mostly in black work, with really strong line art and shading. Nothing too fancy. or not fancy, but like, no, I'm not looking for like watercolor or geometric tattoos or anything like that. And that is exactly what Harry does. Do you think the Mechagon meta achievement is harder than the Nagitar one? They're both RNG limited, so it depends on where you get lucky. I took much longer to get my Mechagon one done because the vinyls, I think that the RNG is a little tougher on Mechagon because trying to get all of the vinyls is murder. It's awful. And I think that's probably statistically a little harder to do than the, like, getting all of the rares in Nagitar, but I also got really stuck on a couple of the rares in Nagitar. Packfather would not happen for me for a long time, so it just depends. We're going to Asuna, that's right. Some people are just healers. Yeah, I wanted to be a healer. When I first got into my guild, we didn't need me to heal at that time. And then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do damage. And then I was very satisfied with doing damage once I discovered that I could keep up. I think I had gotten discouraged on DPS early because for a while I would join groups and whenever I would do damage, I would just, you know, barely do anything. I would be at the bottom of the meters and it was embarrassing. And I figured, well, if I'm healing, at least I'm helping, even if I'm not that good. And then when I finally tried DPS again and found that I could keep up, you know, with, you know, do a little research, get a few add-ons, and I could keep up, that was very satisfying and validating to me. So I really enjoyed doing that. I feel like I needed to prove to myself that I could cut it as a DPS in order to accept that I'm not healing just because I can't do damage. I'm healing because I really like healing and I think that I'm good at it, or at least good enough at it. I don't have Midnight, no. I want it, though. We're working on it. Look at this cat. Hey. Hi. You guys have cats? It's the best. Hi. Hi, what are we doing today? We are doing Kirin Tor Emissaries at this point, trying to get the Wondrous Wisdom Ball. Do you like tanking? I tried tanking more recently, a little bit more seriously. I tanked a little bit through Warlords and Cataclysm, but just kind of like dungeons and like leveling tanking. And then in BFA, during early Ny'alotha, I actually tanked a tier, at least on normal. I tanked normal Ny'alotha as a Guardian Druid with you guys, with the Scroll Squad. And that was completely new to me. I had tanked before, but I'd never really raid-led before, and I think that's what makes me not like tanking, but I enjoy the mechanics of tanking. I like managing mitigation. I enjoy the feeling of being big and strong and, you know, indestructible. I like, you know, managing taunt swaps. I enjoy boss positioning, and I like the feeling of knowing that I've made things very easy for my group by doing it correctly. So that part's all fine, but leadership does not come naturally to me, and I don't like it. It stresses me out a lot, and I don't like it. I would much rather be in a non-leadership, non-authority role, just kind of participating and having somebody else say, hey, you are tanking, you are getting second taunt, and then just kind of following orders. I'm not great at giving the orders, or I can do it, but it's uncomfortable for me. So I think that it's difficult for me to enjoy tanking because it's tough to find a tanking role that is divorced from leadership, especially because if you're tanking dungeons, like if I try to tank Mythic Plus, there's no other tank there to take my cues from, and as the tank, you are expected to know the routes, you are expected to know the skips, you are expected to know the pull percentages, and that's just a little too much for me. I would rather, you know, follow along and do mechanics and, you know, heal or do damage, but tanking Mythic Plus, even though I like tanking dungeons, all of the other stuff that goes into being a tank in a dungeon is just too much for me, and I don't like it. I'm leveling a Resto Druid. I love it a lot. I also like my Resto Shaman. When did you play WoW? Oh, I forgot which one. I think it was the new one. Yeah, it was. I started playing WoW in late Wrath of the Lich King, and I've most recently played WoW now. Hello from South Africa. Hello. Tanking is the best. You stand still, do almost nothing, and then complain how the DPS are dead all the time. I was kind of shocked by how, and I guess I was tanking normal, so I'm sure there's more going on, but there's not really all that much happening when you're tanking. You know, usually you're not moving all that much. You're just kind of there, And as long as you are, you know, pointing the boss the right way and you are... Oh, did I get it? No, I gotta wait for the bubble. As long as you're pointing the boss the right way, you're standing in the right spot, you know, you're taunting when you should be taunting, and you're mitigating so that you don't just get slapped. That's kind of it, you know? Then you're done. Then you've done well. I feel like tanking is really good if you get stressed out by, like, the ever-present fear that, oh, I could have done this better, right? I feel like I get that in DPS a lot, is I'll do a DPS and I'll get a parse and I'll be like, oh, I could have parsed better. Oh, I could have done this like a hair better. You know, you could have always played perfectly. And it feels like I never really achieved my goal. Like, sure, we killed the boss and sure, I was fine on the meters, but like, I always could have done better. And while that is true for tanking and healing, it's less apparent because when I'm tanking or healing, as long as I didn't die and my raid didn't for tanking and then my raid didn't die for healing, I feel like I accomplished my goal. Like, I'm good at that point. So those roles I find a little less stressful because I find that it is easier for me to actually meet my criteria. I can feel like I succeeded a little easier when tanking or healing because it feels like there's a very clear like rubric that you need to meet, and once you've met that, which is not that tough to do, then you're good. You did it. Good job. You kept everybody alive. You didn't die to mechanics. You're a great healer. You know, you faced the boss the right way. You taunted on time. You're a great tank. You didn't die. You're a great tank. Good job. While it's true you can always be improving, there's a much clearer mark of you're good now for tanking and healing, I think. Do you plan on streaming full Shadowland release content playthrough? Full? No. I will stream when Shadowlands comes out. I'll stream when Shadowlands comes out. I might even do a slightly longer stream than normal, but I will not stream like for overnight. You know, I am adult. I like my bedtime, and I will probably also play off stream. I don't think that if I tried to stream my entire new leveling and new content, I would be 4 weeks behind everybody else because I am useless when I'm streaming. I am bad at the game when I'm streaming. I'll stream some of it. It'll be fine. For me, a big part of it is tanking's not that competitive. I enjoy raising people in the meters DPS. Yeah. I feel like if you're inclined to get bored during a raid, then tanking is more likely to bore you because it's not that exciting once you figure out what you're doing. As a druid, you are the emotional support Teddy, and that's important. 38 hour, 24 hours? No. I refuse to accept these levels of overtime. I think that I am a better streamer when I am on a full night's sleep, when I'm hydrated, when I've eaten some healthy food, and I am just not willing to eat or sleep on stream, you know? I'm just too crunchy. I'm too cranky for these extra long streams these people do. I would just get so grumpy and crunchy and cranky, and people would be like, "Hi Hazel, how do you like Shadowlands?" And I'd be like, "I'm sleepy. I want to go to bed. My pajamas are in there." You know? And you know, if I'm not having fun, is anybody having fun? Where are we going? We're going to actually I could go right to let's do Stormwind and then Port 2 as Suna. My ideal daily routine. I mean, I don't know about ideal daily routine because I'm kind of imagining myself like waking up in a cabin by a lake somewhere. That sounds nice. But if just the days that I do now, if I had a really good day, I got up on time, I walked my dog, I had some nice breakfast, I sat down with my coffee and my breakfast, I played a little Hearthstone Battlegrounds, I do that most days. I'm going the wrong way. Play a little WoW. Oh, I guess if we're talking like routine, I'm probably working. You know, get ready for stream, do some streaming, do some video stuff, do some email, do some planning, do some editing, maybe some recording, and then 5 or 6 p.m. I like to work between like 9 and 5 or 6, and I try my very best to keep it all contained to there, and then not check messages, not check email, you know, not really engage outside of that, so that I have a little bit of separation. And then in the evenings, I'll make some dinner if it's my day to make some dinner. I might hang out and chat with Mr. Nutty. We might watch some TV. I watched a movie last night. I was gonna give myself a pedicure, but I basically just soaked my feet and then painted my toenails. That counts. I was going to do a more thorough, like, exfoliating, moisturizing situation, but I got lazy. I watched WALL-E again last night. I hadn't seen that since it like first came out. It was a cute movie. It was good. It wasn't a great movie to watch while painting your toenails because it's one of those movies, especially for the first half, there's really not a lot of dialogue, so you kind of have to be watching to know what's going on. How do you like healing as a priest? Holy or dis or both? What do you recommend for priest healing? I like healing as a holy priest. I enjoy it very, very much. I don't know if I can, in good faith, recommend it. People will sometimes tell me that it's not good or it's not good for dungeons, but I have enjoyed it a lot in dungeons, and it's been effective enough for me. I like holy over discipline, but for like arbitrary reasons. I like holy because it feels more of a classic MMO healer fantasy. It feels like a very sort of D&D style, like a very classic healer fantasy, whereas discipline is just a little bit more niche, and I've never really clicked with the class fantasy. It's like your cat's framing herself on your shirt. Do you take the time to level in a new expansion or play 24/7 until cap? I take my time. I prioritize meal times, bedtimes. I'm excited about the game. I definitely play a lot more during a new expansion. I will usually meal plan a little bit. I might cook extra, make a lasagna or something so I can have some frozen meals in the freezer so I can like heat up some food and eat at my desk, just to play off stream. But I don't play 24/7. It'll be there in the morning, and I have so much more fun when I take the time to like rest, and also that lets people kind of filter through the zone a little bit too, so there's not as many bottlenecks. I am in no rush. I will not feel bad when I am not the first person to level. I will not feel bad if I'm the last person to finish leveling in my entire guild. I am not in a hurry. It's not a race. For me, anyways. It is for some people. I definitely, when the thing first comes out and I'm like all hyped up on the adrenaline, and at that time, I'm usually like, I'm going to stay up all night. I'm going to get to level 60, but I'll usually stay up for like 5 hours, and then I'll get to like level maybe 54, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm tired. And then it starts to sound really good to like get a nice night's sleep and then wake up in the morning and I'm like, ooh, I can play with some coffee. I can have some breakfast. A little breakfast, and wow, that sounds good. You guys are getting me all excited. I'm in a really good mood. Do you get a lot of emails? I do. I get a lot of messages. I am at a luxury of not needing to reply to most of them. Anything that is unsolicited from businesses and whatnot, I mostly just delete them. When they're messages from fans, I usually sometimes I'll respond if I can. Sometimes I find them and it's so late, like it's so old at that point that I just get uncomfortable and then I put it in a folder to forget about. I usually read them. I don't always respond. I forgot which color it was. Was it that one? It was. But I am awful at responding to messages because if I do decide that I have to respond to a message, it takes me, hang on. Oh, now I've completely forgotten. I'm gonna have to do this one again. Yeah. If I decide that I have to respond to a message, it takes me no less than half an hour, 30 full minutes to write a 2-line email because I overthink it so much. Like, I don't want to sound too formal. I don't want to sound too happy. I really don't want to sound flirty. That's a bad idea. And it takes me so long to write them, and I'm like, okay, so I usually like start with a notepad document, and I'm like, what am I trying to get across? If I have questions to ask, what kind of information do I need? How do I format this to make it make sense? And the whole thing just freaks me out so much that whenever possible, I will avoid it by not responding. I only respond to messages if I have to, usually. Oh, gosh. Have you played Fall Guys? Never. No, never. Maybe I should. Maybe I should, like, play other games sometimes. It might be good for my channel. Love playing early in the morning with a coffee. Oh, it's so nice. I used to have a really nice morning routine. When I was living in Canada and I was working retail, I would have a morning shift sometimes where I started work at 8 a.m. and I had to leave reasonably early because I had to walk to work because I didn't drive. And so I was getting up kind of early and I was going in for an early retail shift and I knew there was going to be nobody there and the whole thing was just kind of disheartening. And I started to run into this problem where I really didn't want to get out of bed on those days. I was just I had like no momentum at all. I just didn't have any reason to drag myself out of bed besides the fact that you have to because you have a job that you have to go to. So instead, what I started doing was getting up even like an hour earlier, which was quite early. But I would go to bed early so I wasn't too tired. I would get up like really early just to have like an extra 45 minutes to an hour to play WoW. And I would do my dailies. I would do some WoW dailies and I would have a cup of tea. At the time I was more of a tea drinker. And I mean, I'm still a tea drinker. I just, for morning caffeine anyways, I would do my dailies, I would have a cup of tea, and I would really take the time to like sit down and eat something and, you know, have something nice in my day before going off to, you know, retail, which sometimes is nice. I liked a lot of things about that job, but sometimes it was not nice, and I'm very grateful that I don't have to do that now. Don't play it, it's a fad game. Too many commas. But is that a reason not to play it? As a content creator that's ultimately trying to get views on stuff, wouldn't that be a reason to play it? I feel like I maybe could have had, like, if I had just been more of a trend jumper, you know, maybe I could have some retirement funds packed away by now. Just make a couple of Fortnite videos, make a couple Fall Guys videos, do a few more Animal Crossing videos. The one Animal Crossing video I did incredibly well for me. Maybe I should just give up on WoW and start trend jumping. I mean, not give up on WoW, but you know, you could do both. Let's see. Oh, I missed some things. Let's see. I don't know if I thanked Darth Rich. If I didn't, thank you very much if you're still here. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. And Ducty Team as well. Brand new sub. Welcome. And then Mr. Atheist Pope with some bits. Thank you. I work retail, but I'm in the back room, so I ignore everyone. I remember, every now and then we'd have a customer that was just insistent that we had stock on something that we knew very well we were out of. Part of the problem is that our web system had like this ability to show a customer on the internet, say, this item is in stock at this store. But that system had a lot of lag in it, and it was not always true. And sometimes it would count items that had been taken into the store, but were still fully locked up on pallets, and nobody was qualified to unpack them yet that was there, so like we couldn't get them. So it was effectively not in stock. So there was a lot of frustration and confusion because somebody would be like, I know you have it, and I would be like, I promise you I don't. I'm very sorry. I would give it to you if I had it. I promise you I don't. And they'd be like, well, go check the back room for me anyways. And I'd be like, okay. And I would go into the warehouse and just hang out there for like 10 minutes or so and just chat with the warehouse staff just to make sure that they thought that I was really giving a good look, even though we knew full well there like wasn't available stock there. But, you know, you just take a few minutes, decompress. It took me a really long time to find the portal I was looking for. And then come back and be like, I'm sorry, I gave it a real good look. If you can fake interest, then I suppose it's a good idea. I don't even know if you need to fake interest. I feel like it's easy to be interested in something that's brand new for a little bit. It just takes, I think, a little more passion to do the same thing for 10 years. I think that if I had been faking an interest in WoW, it would have been hard for me to keep it up this long. But I could probably be genuinely interested in anything for like a month, you know? I did not work at Target. No, I did not work at Target. Bigger bed for the dog? Dog has a bigger bed. He likes that one. He gets into that one all by himself. Although sometimes I do want to buy him one of those beds that looks like a little couch to see if he would use it because they're just really cute. And nope. Attempt number 42. Here we go. What's the class of Spec you dislike the most? You're really just trying to make me break some hearts, aren't you? I don't like playing a Vengeance Demon Hunter because I've never done it and I don't know how it works. Making some Horde tunes, need a good Horde server. Any ideas? Depends on if you know anybody. I think the best server is always going to be the one that you can play with other people on. And if you don't have any people in mind to play with, then your best bet is going to be to find a pretty decently high pop server that's got a good population of Horde there. I wouldn't go for the highest pop servers because those are the ones that get like login queues and whatever during really high volume times, such as expansion launches. But, you know, pick like a medium-high one. A small armchair for my cats. It's so cute. If you identify with Priest, do you think you could go Paladin? A gnome, of course, if they could happen. Maybe. Part of what really drives me to Priest is that they're cloth, and I adore cloth armor. In my mind, my holy healing fantasy wears cloth. You know, I've seen clergy members in real life, and they've never been wearing plate mail or armor. That would have been cool, but I guess maybe I just wasn't exposed to enough media that had like the holy warrior fantasy. You know, it's just I just didn't really get that vibe in my head. I understand that it's a thing, but I just really like Priest. What are you chasing right now? I'm trying to get the Wondrous Wisdom Ball from the Kirin Tor Emissary Cache. Guy Valor, thank you very much for the tip. Appreciate it. That's super generous of you. Thank you. Stay away from full or high. Even high is all right. Medium to high seems fine to me. the other nice thing about being on a medium pop server is that usually their economies are active, but not like super competitive. You know, you can sell things and but there's also things to buy. Anduin is a plate-wearing priest, that's true. I don't like Rogue. I used to when combat was a spec, but now I just don't vibe with the class. That's fair. Trinity Knight, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Coolest race spec covenant combo so far. Well, in my mind, I'm imagining myself as a human Kyrian priest. But I think that Void Elf, Venthyr, Warlock, also very cool. Necrolords, I feel like you go with like a good Orc Necrolord DK. You get, or like a Mag'har Orc Necrolord DK. Just got the Ivory Cloud Serpent. Congratulations. How was the cherry cheesecake? Delightful. It was so good. I figured out how to save old Instagram stories that I'd posted because I wanted to have I just posted the baking stream VoD to YouTube today. And I wanted to have somewhere in the description like a link to where people could see how it turned out. Because just saying, oh, check the stream for the next day, that stream won't be around forever. And I remembered that I'd posted it to my Instagram story, but that's not helpful if you didn't see it back then. So I figured out how to like dig that up and save it, and I posted it to Imager so that there was like a record of how it turned out, but it was really tasty. Ashkey, thank you very much for the bits. I'm on a full pop server because I switched for a friend. Now I feel slightly stuck here. Yeah. Do you ever run into any downsides of being on a full server aside from potential login issues? Do you think it like really affects like the economy or other forms of competition? I'm just kind of curious. Lightbringer is pretty high pop. I think it used to be medium and it grew. But it's not usually like maxed out. Arctonom with the tip. Thank you very much. Rate my cat, please. Let me see. This is a Twitch clip. Here, let me mute just in case. And let me make sure that we have... Okay. It's a very cute cat. That's a 10 out of 10 cat. That's very sweet. That's a real cute baby kitten. We have a channel in our Discord. If you wanted to share it with people, we have a channel in the Squirrel Squad Discord just for pet pics, and I imagine people would really like to see your kitty there. Do they say anything about new allied races? No, not yet. All right, what are we going for? We're going for the empty one. No, I haven't heard anything about new allied races yet. I imagine there's going to be some at some point. It was a cat few. I usually make a pretty good point about not clicking on links, so I was just trying to be extra careful with that one. Main issue I take is how much auction house competition there is for dirt cheap prices. Yeah, that's fair. You cheated? Thought they fixed that add-on? I don't know. Oh, I forgot to look. Triangle? Question mark? This is World Quest List Barrel Helper. There used to be a separate add-on that I used for it. Oh no, definitely not green. And I think that got fixed or changed. Or like mouse over macros for it, but this clearly still works. And it's just my regular World Quest List add-on, so I'm not doing anything too fancy. There we go. Tyragosa with the 4-month resub. Thank you very much. Also, Hamas22 with the 3-month resub. Cheers. Still hoping for a Mogu allied race? That would be kind of neat. I feel like we got a few big allied races recently. You know, the High Mountain Tauren were quite large. The Coltirans were pretty big. I guess we also got smaller ones with the Mechanomes and the Volpera, so maybe we're ready for another big medium one. All right, here we go. This is much easier after you remember where all the stuff is. Although I do think I'm kind of stuck. I think because I might need to get on a flying mount in order to cheat. Because you're supposed to do this with here, let's get on an Ekro. their stuff. But if you have flying, they designed these world quests before anybody had flying, so you can just kind of... excellent. There we go. I want bird people, Arakoa, or the Kyrian owls. I would be kind of excited about Jinyu or and Cohen, like a fish person race, but I don't know if it would like switch, if I would switch mains. I feel like there's enough races now that, well, I enjoy the new ones and I enjoy playing alts of the new races. I don't feel like I've ever really needed a new one. Unless they add dryads. If they add, you know, centaurs and dryads, then I'm all the way back in. Die for a Kyrian race. Owls are my favorite. Hold out hope for dragons. Dragons could be done really cool in a similar way to how they do Worgen, where you have like a humanoid form, but then your dragon form for combat. I think that could be really neat. They could allow you potentially to choose, instead of just a humanoid form, they could allow you to choose any race for your humanoid form, right? Like you could, we have dragons that have that are gnomes, and we have dragons that show themselves as goblins. You know, it could be anything. And then it could use all of the other customizations that everybody else has. Fish race unlock requirements, hyper compressed ocean, you need to have it up constantly to survive. Oh man. I wish Worgen could have little Worgen as hunter pets. Not like having children and then just sending them into battle. You can have a little Worgen as a vanity pet, right? Like you can have Lil Bad Wolf from Old Karazhan, I think. The Goblin Dragon was in the Badlands. Rheastraza. That's the only trivia fact about WoW that I'm ever going to know ever again. But that was her name. Her name was Rheastraza. She shows up in the Badlands. It's about the Rathian origination. It was just a really cool quest line. I like that one. Bird Metal, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. Alright guys, I'm going to need the streamer luck invocation. I'm going to need your energy, your crossed fingers. This will be attempt like 44, 45, something like that for this silly boy. That always spooks me whenever I get the coin. I don't need curious coins. That was attempt number 43. Let's do another one. Off we go. I almost feel like the dragon would be better as a class than a race. Your mortal form is the race you pick. Oh yeah, you could do it kind of like demon hunters. That's actually a really good idea. Chromie is a goblin dragon. Chromie's a gnome, right? Measure the water parameters all over Azeroth before adding a fish race. Is it possible to get the posters behind you? They're not currently available for sale as far as I know, at least not from official sources. I got mine from the Blizzard Gear store many years ago, and my understanding they have not sold them recently. I wish there was a port from Oldham back to Stormwind. That would be really nice. Oh, I bought a cloak on this character. She can just port like this. Excellent. I should buy that on more characters. Favorite old raid aesthetically? I like what they're showing for Shadowlands. Emerald Nightmare was really cool. Emerald Nightmare was a really neat raid. I guess it didn't have like the most complex environments, but I just really liked that color scheme with like the thorny nature vibe. It felt like I was diving into like the thicket forest in Sleeping Beauty, you know? I liked that. And then I'm probably missing something. I'm probably not thinking of a raid that had a really cool vibe. Let me take a look at raids. No. Throne of the Four Winds was actually kind of pretty, but it was just very short. Ooh, Terrace of Endless Spring. I didn't raid Mop, which, darn shame. That's not a very long raid. It's only got 4 bosses, and it's not a huge environment, but it's so pretty. Anything that's basically just like 2 steps from a koi pond, I am all aboard. Instantly sold. On board. I know I'm sounding like everybody but Ulduar. Everyone loves Ulduar. Maybe it was more, maybe you had to be there. I don't know. I guess the Titan stuff is neat. I've just never been super excited about it. Either Nighthold or the Halls of Valor. I like the visuals of Mop, but that's about it. I liked the farm. I liked the dungeons of Mop, actually. I feel like I I almost feel sad that they didn't invent Mythic Plus until Legion, because it's given me so much more enjoyment of the dungeons that we get to do with it. And I'm sort of sad, like Draenor, Warlords of Draenor had fantastic dungeons, but you didn't really need to do them very much after you got your character initially geared up. Like they're cool instances, cool mechanics. Skyreach was phenomenal. Annoying with the wind thing, but like that bird boss, it was such a pug killer. It was great. But the fact that we never got to, they didn't stay relevant, was a little sad in hindsight. Posture? I don't think I have very good posture at all. I think my chair helps, but I tend to lean back in it quite a bit. I am sitting in this is a Herman Miller embody chair, and it's got quite good back support, which I appreciate. Blackrock Foundry is amazing to me. The fights in Foundry were really cool. Oh, now I'm self-conscious about my posture. Now I want to like sit up. The fights in Blackrock Foundry were very cool. It was one of my favorite raids to do, but it's very dark in there. I don't like raids that are just all inside and very dark and grim. I know that that's kind of the point of a dungeon, you know? It's a dungeon. They're not usually bright and glowy, although of course we have them that are bright and glowy. It's hard to see sometimes. Especially if I'm streaming. I don't usually stream a lot of instances, but if I'm streaming, my stream lights create a little bit of glare on my monitors, and it makes it hard to see things if I'm in a really dark area. BFA is just annoying for gold farming because of the furnace, or BRF rather, yeah. The nice thing about mount farming in BRF is that at least eventually you can skip furnace. Eventually, when you get all your skips done, you can just kind of do your mount farm very quickly. I was almost bummed that I got my mount so fast in that I didn't get to finish more skips. I think I might have lost track of it. It was probably that one. Also, I forgot to mark the other ones. You can only mark them during a certain stage. Okay, I'll try to do this normally. And now I can mark them. There we go. And we're going for X, red X. 19 attempts on that one is lucky. Is that what I had? Did I only try 19 times for the Foundry mount? I did get real lucky there. Green triangle. Could have made more gold. Although, to be honest, the most gold that I make these days, world quests. Just from doing world quests and gold emissaries, for a long time I was like, oh, a 2,000 gold emissary. Maybe I should do it on all my characters. And then I would do it on one character and I'd be like, I'm not doing it on all my characters. I have too many. It's not worth it. But more recently, whenever a gold emissary comes up, especially if it's just like Tortollan or 7th Legion, and I can pick just a couple of really quick, easy quests to do it on, or quests to do it with, I have been taking all of my characters and doing those gold emissaries on them. And if you do a gold emissary on a bunch of characters and you also just do gold world quests, you can actually make a reasonable amount of money. I think that it's probably a good amount better than doing old raids. Because, you know, it's the same thing where you can only do so much per character, but at least you've got a... Only do so much per character, but at least... I don't know, it's new content. And, you know what else I noticed the other day that I thought was kind of strange? Was I did some BFA world quests, and I was getting gold based on my Legion followers, which I thought they had disabled. Like, they nerfed them for sure. Like, the follower equipment, they nerfed those. But I thought I got gold on a BFA world quest from having Legion followers for a second. I thought maybe that was like a strange bug. What are you looking for in Kirin Tor chests? The Wondrous Wisdom Ball. It's Khadgar's head in an orb. And I wanted very much, and it's just not been dropping for me. This will be attempt number 44 for this thing. My gold grind for Longboy, I did BRF countless times, saw the amount dropping about 6 times. Sometimes I just like going to Najatar and just doing Najatar world quests, especially if there's like a rune-locked world quest or a ley-locked world quest that's going to give me like 150, 200 gold. I'm like, oh, score! If it wasn't... it takes a little bit of work to unlock world quests and then also the rune and ley-locked world quests. It's not a lot of work, but if you're trying to do it on 20 characters, it's a bit. Darn. Attempt number 44. So... I don't do Nagitar emissaries on like every character because some of them just need to do a little bit more regular questing, but yeah. Wisdom Ball is rare. I thought it was 100%. Not so much now. The Orb Pet, I think, is RNG. And it doesn't seem to have any kind of bad luck protection on it. It must be a rarer drop rate than some things because I know I'm not the only one who is horribly stuck trying to get it. I guess I haven't been trying like this whole time. It's only the last 2 or 3 emissaries that I've actually taken all my characters out to do it. But, you know, most things that drop out of a chest like that, you know, you get them within your first 10 or so, not like 45. Did I get a Stormwind Cloak on this character? I did. Hope you're well and safe. Good luck getting the Khadgar Ball. I would not be surprised to find out that it's like a 1% drop rate. I hope it's more than that. I guess we don't know. It's a learnable pet. Had no idea that was a thing. Yeah, it's not a combat pet. It can't fight. It's called the Wondrous Wisdom Ball. Sorry. It looks like that. So it cannot battle, which is one of the reasons I've been kind of lazy about getting it, is I felt like I didn't really need it for my battle pet collection. It's not like it's going to help me in pet dungeons or anything. But there's only so many pets that I don't have left. I can't just give up on it. Are you sure you don't have the item in one of your alts somewhere? I guess I'm not sure. But I didn't really do emissaries on that many characters through Legion. Can you still raid share with alts for mount runs? You can, but only in... I've only managed to get that to work in Wrath raids. Kira is about 5 or 6 years old, somewhere around there. I keep skipping all the family battler quests. I need to stop being lazy about that. Family battler. I can't remember which family achievement is which. I've done them all, but they're some of them are tougher than others. The Argus one, Family Brawler, was that? Family Fighter? Family something. The Argus one just broke me. That was, I think, the thing that burned me out on making pet battle guides was trying to do a video guide for every strategy needed for the Argus family achievement. It was just never the same for me after that. Pet can't battle, but at least you can ask him questions and get answers. Is he... What kind of questions? What kind of answers? Is it like an in-game Magic 8-Ball? Because that makes it more worth it. If I can, like, ask serious life questions to an in-game RNG generator, then I might do that. What are we farming? I want the Wondrous Wisdom Ball. The Argus achievement for pet battles is evil. I feel like that was the toughest one because those bosses were a little tricky on their own. I also at the time was trying to still create the strategies myself, and some of them were a lot easier than others. But some of those bosses were just tough. It is an in-game Magic 8-Ball. It has fantastic responses. All right, I must have it. Maybe it'll be this time, you know? You never know when it's going to drop until it drops. I'm going to do this first try. Let's see. I'm really looking forward to the rest of my day. Sundays are nice and relaxing for me. I've got a little bit of work to do, but I also am going to clean some aquariums. Redix. I'm going to kind of want to wipe down my windowsills. There's a little bit of dirt on them from moving around on my plants, and I want to like wipe that down and get that all squeaky clean. Might do some laundry. I do enjoy laundry. Folding is very nice. Moons. Have some lunch. Make dinner tonight. I gotta figure out what I'm doing for dinner. I have this quiche in the fridge that I've been meaning to prepare, but it's like not that big. I thought it was gonna be bigger, so I feel like whenever I make it, I'm gonna have to also make something else. I'm out of broccoli. Last night, to go with dinner, I made like a nice side of stir-fried broccoli with like a little soy sauce, a little garlic, a little ginger, and that was like really good. But then I ate the rest of my broccoli, so I need to buy more. I would like to grow more vegetables one day. If I have a little tiny bit of a garden, I would like to grow like maybe some spinach. But broccoli is one of those things I don't see anybody growing themselves. I'm actually not sure what kind of climate it grows in. I must have spent 100k in level 25 pets because I was so frustrated with the Argus pet battles. Oh man. I play on the Lightbringer server, Lightbringer NA. All right, here we go. This way. Oh, no, too far. Have you roasted broccoli? No, I air fry it sometimes, which makes a similar kind of like crispy vibe, but I think air frying removes a little more moisture than roasting does. I haven't roasted it. I'll roast, typically if I'm doing a roast, I'll do like a veggie roast. I'll do potatoes and sweet potatoes and carrots and onions, and I'll do them in like an olive oil balsamic vinegar mixture with a little bit of salt, and I'll roast those for a while, and those are really good. I haven't done that recently, mostly because I don't want to turn the oven on. I really appreciate my countertop kitchen appliances that prevent me from needing to keep the oven hot for hours because it does heat up the apartment. Speaking of kitchen appliances, I don't remember what came over me, but we were talking about waffle irons recently. Sometimes I'll be talking about something and I can't remember if I talked about it to you guys or to my guild or to my husband or to my dog. I don't remember who I talked about this to, but oh shoot, I need to pay more attention. We were talking about waffles. Oh no, we definitely talked about waffles yesterday because I remember, I remember the context. And Belgian waffles, and they seem like very good. And then I was like, well, what's the difference between Belgian waffles and regular waffles? Like, sure, they have deeper pockets, but I also remember them being a little more golden, a little more crispy, but maybe you just cook them a little longer. Like when I was looking at Belgian waffle versus normal waffle recipes, the recipes weren't all that different. And that's when I found out there are people that make waffles with waffle mix. What are you doing? I mean, maybe they're fine, but every story that I read online about somebody being disappointed with their waffles started with waffle mix. And I'm not against mixes. I think brownie mix has a place. I think cake mix has a place. But in my life, I've tried making pancake mix, and it's just not okay. Folded egg whites. So folded egg whites go in my regular waffle recipe, which makes very soft, fluffy waffles. I whip egg whites until firm but not dry, and then I fold them very carefully into my waffle batter, which makes really fluffy waffles, but they're not crispy and dark. Maybe I just need to cook them longer. Just pancakes with pockets. When I was Googling waffle info and waffle facts yesterday, trying to decide if I should buy a new waffle iron, because my current waffle iron is like this big. It makes a very small waffle, one at a time, very slowly. So I wanted to get a better one, because I just have waffles on the brain now, and I figure I can make them. So I was Googling waffle facts, and you know how you Google something, and Google just pulls up like a bunch of related questions? And one of them was somebody being like, what's healthier, waffles, pancakes, or French toast? Like, oh boy. They're all delicious, but if you're looking for healthy, you may be barking up the wrong tree. Sure, you can put things that are healthy on them, but I don't know if that's the place to start. Anyways, I bought a waffle iron yesterday. I finally came to a decision. I pulled the trigger. It's not that fancy. I bought like a medium prestige one. I considered one of those big ones that like rotates because I've heard that's what you need for the perfect waffle, but they also look large. I don't have a lot of storage space for this thing. I need it to be a little smaller because I'm gonna put it away when I'm not using it. I don't want it to live on my counter all the time. So I decided to just get a normal one because growing up ours didn't flip and it was fine. You cannot post links. My chatbot will annihilate any links. Traditional Belgian waffles have yeast, regular waffles do not. Maybe that's it. I did see a recipe online for overnight yeasted waffles, and I'm like, that's too much work. I don't deserve Belgian waffles if I'm not willing to put in that amount of work, and I guess I'm just gonna have to make do with like regular ones. All right. Luck? Nope. Strange humming crystal. No dice. So I made it to the warlock. I'll have to do this more at some point. I make my waffles from almond flour and arrowroot powder. That sounds good. I have a kitchen full of rebel appliances. I mean, I have slowly managed to accumulate appliances, despite my protests at doing so. I was peer pressured into getting an Instant Pot, and then I was inspired into getting an air fryer. And the Instant Pot was fine, because while it is quite large, it replaced my rice cooker. So that was a device I was able to get rid of, which was good, because that old rice cooker used to burn rice. The air fryer is huge and didn't replace anything, so that's just taking up space in the counter now, but I use it almost every day, so it's fine. But everything else needs to not live on the counter. Looking for a way to eat cake for breakfast: pancake, waffles, French toast, donuts, banana bread. In the end, it's all breakfast cakes. I mean, maybe if you're looking for a reason to be excited to get up in the morning, then a sweet breakfast might be the thing. I don't know. But I am kind of fiending to make waffles. Maybe I'll do that soon and I'll tell you guys about it. An air fryer, just a fancy oven. It's a fancy convection oven, so it is kind of like a very tiny oven, but it's also whipping around the hot air very quickly in a way that dehydrates the outer edge of the stuff in it, so it makes things crispy much faster than an oven will do so. So it's good at dehydrating stuff. The Instant Pot does have an air fryer top. I eventually decided not to get that. What do you make it in the air fryer? Usually veggies or frozen food. So if we're doing like some frozen fish, or we're doing some frozen, like maybe I'll be doing shrimp or like spring rolls or something like that. Any frozen food heats up very quickly and very well in it. But then I will also do veggies. I will do broccoli. I will do carrots. I love doing carrots. I've made grilled cheese sandwiches in it before, but usually what I'm using it for on a daily basis is I'll basically like chop up a couple carrots and toss them in a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, and just air fry them for like 8 to 10 minutes with just shaking it a few times, and they come out really nice, and that's a way for me to eat vegetables that I wouldn't do otherwise. I am done for the day. I shall be back not tomorrow. I don't stream on Mondays. Monday's my day off. I will be back on Tuesday, and I'm going to be a little early on Tuesday because Tuesday is a tattoo day for me, so I am going to stream like a half an hour early and a half an hour early to make sure I have time to eat before I go. Thank you all very much. Big sub day today. Appreciate that, you guys. Thank you very much for coming, for keeping me company, for the subs, for the bits, for the donations, for just being you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a wonderful, wonderful day.